Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Again, from the group stages of WC match here between uThermal and JonSnow on Ephemeron, the latter edition. Top left-hand corner of the map, it is the blue Terran player, uThermal. And in the bottom right-hand corner, he is red, he is Zerg, he is American, he is JonSnow. Alright, man, so ZVT here, featuring Europe versus North America. And, yeah, common sense, or the common opinion is that the EU is greater than the North American scene, but that doesn't have much bearing on the game we're about to witness here today. Thanks again, Sniper Monkey, for finding this in all of the group stages. Yes, I sent him about, I don't know, maybe 600 replays from the group stages, and maybe not that many, but it was a lot. And Sniper Monkey is a good dude, so he went through all of them and found me the very, very best ones. Alright, man, uThermal. He knows how to play the late game. He knows how to cheese. He knows how to proxy. He knows how to play mech. He knows how to play bio. And JonSnow here knows how to react to all of those different things. So let's see how he does here today. uThermal is the more accomplished player, but JonSnow is up and coming. So we will see who wins here today again in the group stages of WCS Fall. This is the year if it's a Reaper. And it is! Reaper's name is Cash the Reaper, with a $sign as the S. One day when trying to apply for his dream job, the unfortunate amateur rapper had the misfortune of making a typo in his job application. Rather than signing up to become a rapper, he instead put down that he wanted to be a Reaper. Very few individuals actually volunteer to become Reapers anymore, so his application was immediately approved before he could reread it. And now this rapper is a Reaper. It's not so easy to leave the Reaper program once you have been assigned to it. And now this rapper is busting mineral lines as well as rhymes. Alright, man, get in there, bust some mineral lines. And at this point, there are lings coming across, and that hatch is not done, and the pool is done. And the SCV has done a job of scouting, and the Reaper should stay home to defend, and the Reaper's going to do that. The lings are taking the long way around, but that doesn't help very much at this stage at all. I mean, Snow doesn't even have, at this point, enough gas to go for speed. So these aren't going to be speedlings, they will be slowlings, and as such, they will suck versus this Reaper. They will all die if they try to come in. I think they recognize that. The Overlord sees the Reaper staying home, and Snow's like, rats, foiled by an SCV scout once again. Again, really annoys me that both Terran and Protoss have the ability to worker scout and be fine. But as Zerg does, apparently they are just incomprehensibly far behind in the mid-game if they go for that drone scout. It's a source of contention in my brain all the time. Anyway, JonSnow, in case you don't know, is a character from the show Game of Thrones and the book series A Song of Fire and Ice by George R.R. Martin, which did finish in the show, did not finish in the books, and perhaps never will at this stage. The book readers are very sad about this fact. Ling comes in and says, alright, nothing too crazy. Did he end up scouting this? He did. So he knows there's Hellions on the way. So at least he got that information out of the Lings. That was a pretty good scout if you ask me. Speed is on the way, but at this point it doesn't really matter because now there's Hellions and Speedlings aren't going to do very well in this situation either. So third base on the way from JonSnow. The early pull did not work out for him, but he should be okay. Otherwise, Reaper does cruise across the map and see what he can get done here. Cash the Rapper. Whoa! What? Why are the queens coming up here? What in the name of why would you... No, why are you going away? I'm so confused by this. He's got 2 kills, but those are both lings. He could have taken down a drone. I feel like he could have taken down a drone. Alright, so speed's coming in. It's almost done, but there should be Hellions popping any second, and there are. And there are Hellions cruising across the map here, too. So, yeah, I mean, uThermal's got this thing under control. There's really just no aggression that we can see from JonSnow to make this happen. Now, JonSnow, there's been a lot of discussion about this on Reddit. Let's see what people consider character assassination with him. Just early seasons of JonSnow and the book version of JonSnow are just very different from what we got in the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, the TV show on HBO. Well, let's just say that. There's a lot of things to complain about with Game of Thrones. I did actually post a video complaining about one of the episodes on the last season. It didn't get any better from there. Let's just say that. So, it's just so frustrating. Game of Thrones, one of the greatest shows of all time, but then the ending knocks it down a peg. It just does. It's like Dexter. The TV show Dexter. I loved Dexter. And then the last season and the finale, I was like, what? And now I don't recommend people watch Dexter. I don't know. Maybe people should anyway. Like maybe my opinion of how the ending sucks really shouldn't affect people's ability to watch the first, 5 or 6 seasons. Maybe that's the lesson we should learn here. As these Hellions and this Reaper try to poke on in, but the Queen count is high enough. as a Liberator shows up in the natural base, pulls all of those drones off for a second. Spore Crawler repositioning to deal with this Liberator, and Liberator's not like what he sees, or she sees, rather. As a female pilot here, and just getting stabbed away. The Hellions getting stabbed away here, too. No drones are going down. I don't think. Have any drones died in this game yet? The answer is no. Some Lings have died, but otherwise we're cool. And then Liberator shows up here at the third base. Is going to get some... Where'd this Queen go? What? Why? Go over here. Kill this. All right, well, Liberator down, but now the drones are dead because they're forced to fight. However, the Hellions are all getting wrecked up here. And as a result, there goes our Reaper. 7 drones killed, but every Hellion dies and a Liberator goes down too. Now, how does that work? How does that work out? Does that put JonSnow behind a lot? He is still ahead in worker count. He does still have a third base, where uThermal does not at the moment. And I kind of feel like right now JonSnow's okay. He's at 55 workers, so he lost some drones, but killing all of those Hellions means he can drone up a whole lot now. He doesn't have to worry about a Hellbat attack or a Hellion attack whatsoever. Double barracks at the front, lot of bio coming out. There's a single factory and multiple barracks, and the third base has landed and is converting to an orbital command. He's actually not going to planetary fortress this one. He wants the additional income that comes with the orbital command upgrade, so seems fine with me. +1/+1 coming in for the ground units, the melee specifically for JonSnow. So but yeah, what I was saying was I was actually talking about Dexter with a buddy of mine at work, and we were just talking about how we hated the ending, but it was so good until then. And then a third person heard us and says, so what you're saying is I should watch the first like 5 or 6 seasons of Dexter and then just end it. And I was like, do it. Wow, that's actually, hadn't thought about that. It actually kind of works, I think, with Dexter. So maybe if you haven't watched Dexter, maybe do that. If you really want to watch the ending of Dexter, and maybe you'll think the ending is good, where I think it's bad. Opinions are different. Opinions matter, right? They're different from everybody. So, TV show, TV show, man, if you can name what that is from, I will give you like a gold star. That is incredibly obscure. All right, pushing on in. We got Marines. We got 2 medevacs. We have Lings and Queens and some 6 Banelings in production somewhere. There they are. These bridges are so good to pull back to. I think they're just going to try to focus down this hatch. If they can kill as many Lings as possible, get some shots on that hatchery. Look at this positioning here. But now Banelings come around. They are slow and they're off creep. This is some really amazing micro from uThermal. I kind of love it a lot. Queen down. That's a big deal right there. A lot of these Marines are low on HP because they've stimmed so much. The Banelings get target fired down. The medevacs die, but the Marines are still here. 1 Baneling gets target fired down. The hatch is transfused, but the attack damage of the Marines is a lot right now. Can JonSnow save it? Yes! He barely manages to save the hatchery with additional Lings. The Queen's doing what they can here to defend. There's no medevac support right now. The Marines are incredibly overstimmed and easy to chomp down for these Lings, and bam. Wow, what a hold by JonSnow. I thought for sure this hatchery was dead, but nope. uThermal couldn't quite pull it off, but he's got round 2 coming at ya. Is centrifugal hooks done? Please tell me it is. It is. All right, so JonSnow does have centrifugal hooks. His spread is looking pretty good too. Ling's cruising up the right side. So 3 base to 4 base right now. 75 workers for JonSnow at 8.5 minutes. Seems all right. Banelings are here and ready to rock. Marines once again setting up on this bridge. Harder to do if you are Marines. Easier if you have tanks. Oh my gosh, he's going to get the hatch. He instantly just kind of wanders in and takes down the hatchery. Loses a couple Marines, but calls it good. That was so hard to defend. That hatchery was already so very injured. If he had transfused it earlier, maybe it wouldn't have died, but he is expanding to a 5th base on the top right. Well, I guess this is technically about the 3 o'clock position. And then just Marines and Widowmines and medevacs here. This feels very beyond in Heart of the Swarm, what we're seeing here. Widowmines, Marines, medevacs, these pushes were so deadly against Zerg back then. Of course it was Beyond, who is a god among men. And until he comes back, I don't know who the god for Terran fans is anymore. Maros seems to be kind of maybe not the guy, and maybe that's the balance of the game's fault, and maybe it's his fault. It's a great question to be asking. All right, Mutalisks coming in from JonSnow. Surprisingly Mutalisks. Sterling Claws on the way from uThermal. I don't know about Mutas. I kind of really prefer Corruptors in this situation. Oh, gosh. The art. Wow, so both these bases are going to die now? Is that what we're looking at here? Ling's art trying to stop it. No! Hatchery down, and we are suddenly a 3-basing Zerg. Trying to unload in a really bad place, though. There were Banelings there, but you know what? Not enough Banelings to deal with the Marines that are coming out of this medevac. This is looking really bad. JonSnow is forced to fight against Marines with these Mutalisks. They don't want to do that. They don't want to fight against this with mutas. But if they have to, they will. He's trying to replant the 4th base down south here at the 6 o'clock. The Marines could probably dart in and cause some problems for that. But uThermal seems a little bit preoccupied with something else. The army comes down to make sure this is defended. Again, 3-basing JonSnow versus effectively, now we have a 4-basing uThermal. I thought this wasn't done yet, but it is done. But it is done yet. So uThermal looking strong. Looking good. Thor in production. Widowmine's coming on in here too. Picking up before the banelings arrive. Again, off creep. And now the mutas. Ooh, medevacs, though. Problematic. Full medevac down. Okay, Snow needed that. Snow needed that to die. And he did. Army supply 109 to 78. It would have been a lot worse, except for that medevac dying. Those 2 medevacs going down. Thors and Widowmines, if your opponent's going Mutalisks, Terran players, keep that in mind. Do what uThermal does here. Mutas are like, you know what? Forget this. We're going to come on over and try to kill your stuff. But 3 missile turrets and a bunch of Marines problematic here. Lings and Banelings cruising on into the front. Pretty decent splits, but still losing a couple Marines there. More and more Banelings coming in, and the Mutalisk coming in. Takes a Widowmine shot to the Mutalisk flock, though. And yeah, medevacs are dying. Oh, that medevac's going to die with a Thor in it. You should probably unload. Widowmine does fire, but the medevac dies, unloading the Thor, getting a couple shots of that splash damage off on these Mutalisks. They are staying alive. They're pulling back to the creep, which again is not super great creep because so many tumors have been killed thus far. An attack along the left side. Oh, JonSnow's going for a 5th base up here just north of that 4th. Enough links should be able to cruise in to deal with that. Again, the upgrades are going to be useful here. That Thor is still alive with all of 10 kills to his name. He doesn't have a medevac to save him. Actually, he does if you want. If you'll want here, great positioning on those Marines. Really hard to get rid of them unless you have some Banelings, and they did show up. And we're not necessary. Baneling nests getting fired down right now. Oh, you know what? Is he seriously not going to? Okay. All right. Well, Widowmine and Banelings exploding there. I think that Widowmine took down way more resources than it should have here. Oh, the mutas are just taking so much splash damage from these Thors, but they are still alive. I think a transfuse went down on one of them. The Marines come back around, and now there are Banelings, and everyone's dead. Baneling really shouldn't explode on this dude. Did they seriously not kill this guy? What are his upgrades? 2-2. A 2-2 Marine getting hit by 2 Zerglings that are also 2-2. Cannot die because the medevac is healing. That's incredible. Now, JonSnow's been on his back foot this entire game, which is a bad place to be. If you're in a ZVT, you want to get some aggression out. If you are the aggressor, you're in a pretty good place overall. But uThermal just consistently sending across these Marine Widowmine medevac groups. Widowmines firing, and hey, look at some aggression from these mutas. They're not actually, they don't feel like they're needed in the space defense. Lings are around. Adrenal Glands is getting started as there's a hive done for JonSnow. That group gets wiped out, but there's nothing to chase down the medevacs because the mutas are over here. They could now. They're making a beeline for these medevacs to kill them. And getting rid of the Widowmines here too. JonSnow doing some work right now. Widowmine firing. Gah, taking out a Mutalisk. Gah! He is just baiting these Mutalisks into these Widowmines. Medevac down. How many medevacs have been killed in this game, Falcon? Well, I'm glad you're asking. 13! 13, and there are only 3. So that is one reason you go for Mutalisks and Corruptors in this situation. One of those things is you need to kill medevacs. Now, the good news for JonSnow is he got his 4th base up. He's got his 5th base up. He's at 80 workers. He's managed to stabilize despite all the damage that he's taken. Sure, uThermal is going for a 5th base of his own. Here at the 12 o'clock position, he's working on 3-3, but JonSnow's also working on his 3-3, getting a greater spire and really going for that late game Zerg stuff, which I know everybody loves to see. It's like their favorite thing in all of StarCraft is late game Zerg. Now, Mutalisks taking down a missile turret, but good job keeping some Marines at home and some Widowmines at home, because you know the Mutalisks are a threat. They're not part of this larger group running around here. Very smart stuff indeed. Income definitely favoring the Terran just because mules exist, and he tossed down some new ones on that base, but drops are going to be harder. That Mutalisk group is big. JonSnow expanding to the left side now too. Loving that for a 6th base for him. He really needs to keep up economically, and he's doing it. He's been given some breathing room. He's taking advantage of it. He's making 42 Zerglings. Adrenal Glands is almost done, and it is. That's humongous for the Zerglings. Increases their DPS immensely. DPS just being damaged per second. The mutas are a little trapped here. They're forced to go out this way. I guess they maybe want to take down the medevac, but that's not going to happen. Oh, the Widowmine shots. The Widowmine shots on these Mutalisks are super good. Corruptors on in. He's like, you know what's better at absorbing Widowmine shots are Corruptors. So maybe we'll get some of those. Maybe we'll make Broodlings with them, or Broodlords with them too. Who knows? Yeah, all right. This is a bit of a poke here from JonSnow. Not really accomplishing much, I don't think. Ling's coming around the outside, but guess what? Widow Mines exist. They're trying to pick up reinforcing units, but they got their numbers whittled down quite a bit, and that's problematic. This Marine is so brave and super dead. I think he died to that tank more than anything else. 12 kills on that tank, 2 kills on that one. The Mutos are better at killing tanks than Corruptors are, that's for sure. Oh, the Widow Mine is just... The Widow Mine bait. He's like, hey, come kill this tank. I'll hit you with a Widow Mine while you're at it. So good. Army supply, 120 to 111. 8 Broodlords in production, and I'm not sure this is necessarily an anti-Broodlord army that uThermal is rolling with right here. So 15 minutes in, 2 more Broodlords on the way here. The Marines can get right underneath the Broodlords. They will kill them easily, which is why there have to be Lings and Banelings here to buffer a little bit. Changeling comes in, gets killed immediately, but does see that the army is on its way. And don't, again, all right, so just threw away some Lings there. Oh, burrowed some Banelings in, but scanned and target fired. uThermal is not going to be fooled by that ploy. Good attempt, JonSnow, but the scan came in almost instantly. Another base from uThermal, going to try to come over on the right side at the top right-hand corner, but there is a Zergling shutting that sucker down. Loving that. Melee attacks level 3 and ground carapace level 3 finishing up now too from JonSnow. We got personal cloaking on the way. We got additional starports coming in for those Vikings. Yep, working on ghosts with steady targeting maybe for the Broodlords, but for the time being, there's not much here that can handle these Broodlords. There's not many Thors. There aren't any Infestors here either, though. I'm kind of surprised by that for JonSnow. Broodlord Infestor, I mean, what year is it? Broodlord Infestor is considered the OP Zerg strategy of the day. Mutas flying on in. Ling's trying to get on. That's not a wall, actually, as it turns out. So the Mutas are here to take down Liberators, is my guess. So Liberators can't be used against the Broodlords all that effectively. Some changes in the mix. These Lings really need to go deeper into the base, so they have to be chased. And they are. Again, killing units that come out of these barracks. Broodlords pushing on in, working on upgrades for those guys. The Mutas darting on back down to this 4th base. Trying to kill the SCVs who are building stuff. Not working out very well. Going after tanks seems a pretty smart move. This is not looking good for uThermal, ladies and gentlemen. The Broodlords are here. What is the answer going to be? It's going to have to be Liberators at this point, using their anti-air ability, which is not great, as it turns out. Meanwhile, a bit of a drop down here to the south does take out a couple drones. Sport, Crawler, taking down the medevac, though, because uThermal's not paying all that much attention to it. Broodlords raining down Broodlord fire here. These SCVs are still alive, which I don't understand why they should not be. Or the Mutas are all dead? No, the Mutas are still here, still trying to be used as necessary. 10 Corruptors in production. A drop along here at the 5th base causing problems, and a drop at the 6th base along the left side, too. Medevacs are going down, but there's still a bunch of bio here. uThermal's like, I can't really engage with this army right now, making 5 Vikings at a time, and now JonSnow has nothing to defend against these Vikings or these Liberators. They're trying to kill bus stop. They're trying to kill barracks and production facilities, but they just don't have enough DPS to do it at this stage, even with the 3-3 Broodlings. Corruptors trying to fly in to deal with this, but they are just not in good numbers here either. Additional Corruptors are flying in, but they're definitely target firing down the Broodlords to some extent. This one is still alive, has 5 kills to its name. So base down, 19 SCVs killed, but as I've always said, Terran is not dead until Terran is dead. These Queens walked all the way up here, too. I guess the creep isn't too far away. So, yeah, the drops get cleaned up. Widow Mines, great. Perma-cloaked Widow Mines, not too shabby. That Drilling Claws upgrade is good. Another Widow Mine hanging out down here. This one, we have an Overseer, yeah? There it is. Yeah, Cracklings are here. Infestors on the way. So JonSnow probably should have had the Infestors all along, if I had to guess. Corruptors. Nope, you don't want to really fight against those Vikings with Marines on the ground assisting them. That's not a good place to use, so John does pull back. Ultralisks in production for JonSnow. Well, an Ultralisk Cavern anyway. Got some Burrowed Banes up here. Loving those. Ah, the top right base did get taken by uThermal. So he's okay economically. His income is good. It's about even to the Zerg players, which is fine. Again, lost a lot of SCVs, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, the Burrowed Bane's getting shut down again. JonSnow is so sad. He's so sad to see this. I'm trying to set up traps, he says. It's just not going how I want it to. Sad face. Pushing up, killing some more creep tumors. A lot of creep tumors have died in this game, let's not lie. Total of 51 have gone down, with a total of how many right now? Well, that's a structures tab. 46. So more have died than exist right now. Nice fungal. The Banelings trying to get on top of these dudes on the ramp. It's not great positioning for JonSnow, but you actually can't run either when you're surrounded like this. So Thor is down. Fungal's on the Vikings, wiping them out. Zerglings cruising on up. That is a planetary fortress. Lings don't really want to be here at all. Army supply is 92 to 56 in favor of JonSnow right now. The Corruptors are flying around trying to find stuff to kill. I mean, that's a medevac if you want it. A couple medevacs. Don't worry about that one Marine. I guess more Marines are now pouring out of those barracks. Widow Mines. Oh, they're ready to fire again. That's huge. That's a huge hit right there. Oh, and these guys are going to stay alive because the detection has left them. Corruptors, taking Widow Mine shots. Again, they're better at taking Widow Mine shots. They're still not great at it, as it turns out. So yeah, planetary fortresses with orbital command here. uThermal is actually okay. Yes, he lost that pretty heavily, but now he's back up in army supply, at least even with the Zerg player right now. Corruptor is going after this orbital command. If that Zergling actually prevents it from landing, that'd be pretty good. I think it's probably just resigned itself to its fate at this point. It's going to die. There's really no saving it at all. I mean, you might be able to... If you stimmed, maybe you could get up here in time and save it, but it's toast. Alright, so the army is scattered out by the Corruptors. The army of JonSnow is kind of down here a little bit this way. 171 to 191 overall supply in favor of the Terran. The Dutch Terran player, uThermal, is looking good. His Widow Mine shots have been pretty consistently good throughout this game. More Infestors on the way, more Broodlords on the way here too. God, these Widow Mines are just getting stuff done. 14? Was that? No, those were Lings. Were those drones? Was it just this drop here? Oh, it was. It was drones. I thought that was Lings. Oh, no way. No way. Oh, that's so good by uThermal. That is so stupefyingly good. Medevac does manage to escape from the Queen. She decides to throw down creep tumors instead of try to kill it. Yeah, South versus North game right now. These two bases have not been taken. There was a thought to take it for JonSnow a couple times. Hasn't really worked out for him. Again, the fungals on this bio is pretty much a godsend. Drones trying to transfer over. Some of them dying. The rest of them do manage to escape from that position. Marines, Marauders, chancing on in. There are Zerg units on 3 sides, though, which is kind of bad news. Banelings exploding. Broodlords on the right side causing some problems. But the hatch does end up going down. Losing that hatch is a big-time problem. Now he's trying to fly down to this bottom left-hand corner with a bunch of bio and make something happen there, too. Widow Mines are ready to fire on these Broodlords, guys. They ignore armor, so they're really good against armored stuff, as it turns out. Medevac does go down to the Spore, though, and that actually gets held out, but 16 drones killed. JonSnow's at 67 workers. He's doing a pretty good job replacing them as necessary. I'd love to see this hatch taken. I'd love to see this one, too. Why are these drones over here? Why are they over here? There are Widow Mines waiting. There should be so many more Overseers. That's what I'm taking away here for JonSnow. He's got 3 of them, but I feel like he needs about 10. Just because this is a problem, and it's going to get worse over time. And 6 drones down because of those 3 Widow Mines. Just hanging out. Don't mind us. No, you do not get a base on the right side. There's a cancel, at least for JonSnow. Pushing on the left side to Fungals and Broodlords. Goodbye, a Marauder, and maybe 2. Engagement on the right side. uThermal doesn't have a huge army here, but he's looking okay. 120 to 116 army supply is really nice for uThermal. JonSnow seems to be just holding on by the skin of his teeth right now. Is that a word? I don't actually know. Widow Mines firing on in, but not really getting major connections. Viking allowed to snipe down that Overseer. That's a really good pickup, actually. What is killing more drones? Where? There are just Widow Mines everywhere. There might just be Widow Mines everywhere at this stage. uThermal playing the Widow Mine game. Broodlings trying to take down this base at the 9 o'clock position. uThermal's trying to establish right now. If he gets this, it's going to be bad news for the Zerg player. Resources lost. 38,000 for uThermal, 46,000 for JonSnow. Look at the splits, though. uThermal just pre-splitting his units so well, so one fungal doesn't catch his whole bio group. Takes at least 2, and that's fine. Infested Terran's coming down, which, alright, I guess their ground attack is not super great. I guess, sure, we'll roll with it. 10 SCVs killed. Where the heck were there 10 SCVs killed? I don't know, but uThermal is pushing on up here anyway. Trying to get some Banelings on in. The fungal makes it so it's harder to run away from those Banes and harder to split against them too. Corruptors fighting in against these Vikings. They're not looking super good, though. A lot of them are really injured. More Infested Terrans tossed down. Ling's trying to handle this, but this looks like the beginning of the end for JonSnow. It's 158 to 143 total supply. uThermal taking the right side base right now. Pushing in from 2 angles at once. The Broodlords are still alive, and that's a huge deal, as this bio should not really be able to handle it. Going after the Infestors, though, taking down one of them with this bio before it all goes by. And then this Viking having a pretty good time trying to take down all these Broodlords by himself. He's got his buddies now. Again, baiting over the Widow Mines. And then the Marines finish him off after the Widow Mine hit. It's amazing. Absolutely disgusting. 3 Cracklings taking down a Marauder, but not this smaller, well, a larger group of bio anyway, called Widow Mine. Just ba. Or is it you? Is it you guys that got, yes, 9 kills? Maybe it's that one. Maybe it was these guys that did the work. Called Widow Mine's MVP of this match, I gotta say. I have to officially give them that title. These Marines are going after an expired extractor instead of these drones, so they probably should be doing. What a ridiculously scrappy game here today. Insanely scrappy. And I think uThermal has it. He's just up in every number that matters right now. The Widow Mine hits have just been incredibly economical for him. Ridiculously good. Marines Marauders coming in the left bottom corner. I don't think JonSnow's lost this hatchery yet, but his army's not really in position to save it. God, these Widow Mines are just setting up everywhere. Yeah, so hatch down. 9 kills on that Widow Mine. This right side base is in a lot of trouble from the Broodlords and the Corruptors. A lot of drones going down, though. It is 43 for JonSnow at this moment in time. And I mean, sure, taking down a base is nice, but that was, I think, the last remaining source of income for JonSnow. His income is actually literally in the toilet. Trying to long distance mine here, but the long distance mining is not going to go super well as this bio is present. They have no medevacs to heal them. They're a little bit overstimmed. They're still going to kill as many drones as they can. Going after this hatch again, killing it for like the 3rd time today. And yeah, uThermal just absolutely death by a million cuts here today against JonSnow. JonSnow is back to a 3-basing Zerg at 27 minutes, which is really bad. Sure, that base died. It's problematic. But at the end of the day, army supply is 111 for the Terran player. He's taking a new base, which a Zergling is harassing a bit. Going after a mule there, like 10 points to JonSnow for not just tapping out. He still has the Broodlords. But I mean, this army, if you're going to base race, this army's going to have a pretty good time with it. Yeah, Broodlords are bad at base racing. Let's just say that. They're actually not that great against killing buildings. And they're really slow, and they can't kill flying stuff, where Terran can float their buildings off. So, at this stage, I mean, another hatchery is going to die here. There's just the Corruptors can't do anything about it. The Broodlords can, but they're not here. The Infestor trying to fungal everything to death by itself is not working out super duper well. Drones getting focused down a little bit. Hatchery, there you go. Might sacrifice a little bit of bio here. Widow Mine ready to fire on those Broodlings. Not exactly what you want to see. But yeah, JonSnow sitting here at 28 workers to 67. And that's your good game. JonSnow has tapped out. uThermal is your winner in 27 minutes and 46 seconds. So, wow, scrap. Just a scrappy game here today. 68 Widow Mines went down, but they killed 114 drones on the day. I mean, they didn't personally, but still, a lot of dead drones. 11 Broodlords down, and 31 Mutalisks, and 7 hatcheries. That's big. 7 hatcheries killed by uThermal today. That's a big reason that he won the game. Additionally, only lost 35 SCVs instead of 114 on the Zerg side of things. So great job by uThermal, dealing with the Broodlords, dealing with the Infestors pretty effectively well. The Mutos did pretty good for JonSnow. All of them died eventually, though, because Widow Mine Marine is pretty good against it with the Thors too. 11 Queens got killed. And yeah, uThermal was everywhere. He was attacking left side, right side, dropping, middle. Even while he was under attack at his front door over here, he managed to have drops going, and that's what really kept him in the game. So uThermal, elite, really great Terran player. Love to see him do it. And JonSnow, pretty good holding his own here for 27 minutes, but end of the day, uThermal comes out on top, gets the win against JonSnow, and that's going to be it. So, hurrah! That's all for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.